Do we have time? What's your definition of rent vesting, John?
We have a fundamental disagreement on the term.
But I think it's the semantics of it.
good.
I think it sounds like it's semantics. It's pretty straightforward, right? You rent where you want to live, and you invest where you want to invest.
Yeah. So you're just buying investment properties and renting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would go one step further and say if I'm 21, I'm free vesting.
Yeah. If you can, sure.
Not 41. You've got to get out of home at some stage and live your life.
So my fundamental thing is, if you want to go there, and I'll use me as an example because it's some tangible figures.
Yeah.
Because I would say I'm a rent vester, or I would say I just rent and buy own property. Like,
you are. You're
So
a rent
vesting?
Yes. However,
what else could you be?
well, I could not be technically rent vesting in terms of my scenario. Can you pass me your pen, please? Because I just need, I think with my hands. So the scenario is if I could buy a place in Newcastle, all right, and pay $700 a week mortgage.
Yes.
Right? I would...
On your interest or on your P&I?
P&I.
Okay,
whatever the amount is. So if I could...
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay, we'll make it 1,000 just for round numbers.
Must.
Yep. If I could buy a place in Newcastle and my mortgage repayment was $1,000 a week, P&I, whatever, right? Or I could rent in Newcastle, same location, for $700 a week, right? In my mind, the rent vesting strategy is, well, it's cheaper to rent where I want to live, so I'll pay the $700 a week rent, take that $300 extra, and then put that into growth assets like property or cash flow property.
Yep.
The thing where I think it delineates is if I buy an investment property and then rent, if I spend more than that $700 and pay the $1,000, I'm paying premium rent, so I lose the strategy because I'm just eating the leftover, so the whole difference was rent where you want to live, make sure it's cheaper than otherwise what you wanted to buy in the area, and put your excess money into investments. So I believe rent vesting should be camping. We're not, because like I was renting at Merriweather Heights. It was $1,000 a week. It's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm now renting for $725 a week.
Yeah.
That's a better rent vesting strategy because I'm actually not, I'm paying the minimum I can on rent and investing the difference between what the mortgage would be if I could buy in that area.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't.
And this is the semantics and a big circular.
And so I would say if you weren't investing that money elsewhere, you're still rent vesting. You're not just doing.
You're not optimizing
as effectively as that. Where when I rent vested, I didn't have any extra money. Like I didn't have any money. I just bought. I was living on an oily rag. I'm still rent vesting. I'm just not as sophisticated as you while I was doing it.
The whole term's cooked because you've got to live somewhere and you either own or you rent. So if you want to rent vest, it's an intentional strategy that I can't afford to buy where I want to live, so I'm going to rent cheap. And I say this all the time. You know if you're spending more rent in your situation for the luxuries.
Yeah.
So I know if I spend $1,200 a week down here at Honeysuckle, I'm wasting a lot of money and paying for the new kitchen or the third bedroom or whatever, where I can get the exact same for under $800. So I think we've got to be very strategic and sure, I like getting caught in the weeds and the semantics of it.
Yeah.
But you just can't be renting, la-da-da-da-da, and I'll buy a property. No, be very strategic. Rent, camp, pay as little as possible, and build wealth elsewhere.
Okay, so
you can judge.
Interests of time, right?
F time.
Maybe it's another full episode on its own, and the first part of that is the rent vesting definition doesn't change, right? It is what it is. You rent where you want to live, and you
pick
invest
a side,
somewhere
John.
Else around the country, right?
No, but it's got to be strategic because
no. Listen.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry,
You're
Daddy.
a guest on this show.
He's the judge. We need to listen now. We've
Right.
both put our cases out.
So yes.
But I'm the only one who has the power to edit what you're about to say out.
So you say, well, okay, yeah, the rent's got to be cheaper than if I had a mortgage here. I get all that.
Yeah.
And in your early 20s, that might be a big deal. But I know a lot of business owners, well, not even business owners, a lot of people that appreciate their lifestyle don't want to have massive bad debt in their life and just have their whole life as a massive tax deduction because they've got all investment properties, no large debt on their owner occ, and just choose to pay even premium rent because they know they want to live where they want to live and not live in a dog box.
But that's so you've actually touched on a part of the curve that Rach touched on.
Mm-hmm.
That is more of a sophisticated, I'm established play.
And that's what I said. Your early 20s might be
camping.
You're thinking of the numbers, and yes, we get that. But early 20s, and I'm meeting more and more of these unbelievable people. And I think they are unbelievable because they're shaking the norm. What they're saying is, I don't want this large $800,000 mortgage on my own home that I'm solely responsible for.
Yeah.
I actually want some freedom and some choices. I spoke to a guy yesterday. He wants 2 to 3 holidays a year, right? He can't do that if he's got $1 million 1.2 in Sydney. So he's going to continue to rent vest, grow his portfolio, be lean with his running costs in his life and have holidays and not work for the man for 50 years.
But you've also touched on the mindset thing. So for me, I own multiple properties.
Yeah.
I've just got no desire to stomach having such large non-deductible debt in my life.
Yes.
Like, what the hell? What a waste of money. In my
correct.
view.
So that's what I'm saying. It's the rent vesting is not just about the strategy of camping.
No, but it's a spectrum that when you're starting rent vesting, it's probably the fundamentals that I talked about.
Yeah.
Where I would say I just rent where I live.
Yeah.
I just rent where I want to live at the moment. I wouldn't say I'm a rent vester.
Yeah.
Because sure, I've got all the properties. I could spend $1,200 a week on an apartment. My life wouldn't materially change that much.
Yeah.
But I still know that that's a luxury.
But you are a rent vestor by definition. And
Did I rent vest in my
I'm with Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you know where the term came from? The rent vesting term?
No.
It was an LJ Hooker marketing slogan.
It's pretty good.
It is a really good slogan.
Yeah.
But I will say, on that mindset piece, a lot of people who don't own property who listen to this show, they want to buy the house to live in, and it's really hard to get to because I just need to get, and I hate the word on the ladder because I don't like all the property world that you people are in.
It's an elevator.
It is. But they want to get on the ladder and we need to buy a home to live in. But what tends to happen as you start to build wealth and you buy an investment property, once you have that property and you own it and you're now a landlord, the renting part doesn't seem as futile because you are physically building wealth elsewhere and you are making progress.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you before when you were doing those numbers is it principal and interest or is it interest that you're calculating? Because interest to the bank or rent to the landlord is essentially the same. It's both money that's not coming back.
Well, you've got to live, you've got to pay housing.
Yeah.
And the better that you want it, the more you want to do financially, spend as least as you can on a house that you live in, be it non-deductible debt or rent, buy as little car as possible, marry the right person, and keep out of consumer debt, and you'll probably have a good shot.
It'll be real good
of making a life.
You'll be better than most.
And I think that's the best and most effective way to rent vest. I think that strategy is very solid. But I just think those people that have no spare money are still rent vesting in their little way.
And maybe for our book, we can do a bit of a rent vesting spectrum where if you are just starting out, because the hardest thing is getting that first property.
You should write that chapter.
I will. It's on the list.
You should write one on not to have kids because that saves you about $3 million.
100%.
No, I don't know if
So just for reference for your numbers, I think it's interest versus rent. It's not P&I versus rent.
Yeah.
Right. Because
the principal's actually paying down.
That's right. Whatever that is, I'm just saying traditionally, if you want to rent, you would probably want to have it cheaper than the interest-only payment.
Yes, slightly disagree, but...
No, because with this rent vesting thing, you are now stepping into a potential tax strategy. And for me, with all, like, I've got a handful of debt and, you know, you got the depreciation and all that. There is a lot of deductible debt and it's borderline tax strategy. I'm self-employed. I've got some costs at home. Like, well, I don't this financially because I moved out, but when I had the studio in the spare room, that rent was deductible as a business owner.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't want to really do that if you own the place because it just messes with your cost
Correct.
base.
So that's why your rents per week can be higher than what you're putting over here.
Yeah, I just think you want to spend as little as possible on rent.
I'm looking forward to the rent vesting spectrum.
Friggin' hell. I'm going to put this episode into AI and get us to do a summary so I can have some skeleton to... I
know.
But anyway, I think it's the semantics thing, but we can all go back and land on the fundamentals. To build wealth, you want to spend as little money on stuff that goes down in value. And you know, if for your situation, if you are spending on luxuries, and guess what? Luxuries in your life could be an extra $300 a week rent.
If you choose.
If you want.
Or a car or something. Yeah,
exactly.
That's right. You do you.
All right, see ya.
All right. You've been real.
Hey, everyone.
I don't know where the hell that all came from.
On the Spotify comments, tell me how much you hate me being on the show, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to host this show.
We'll see you. You did. So, or
for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 years or something. So, yeah. Thanks, Rach.
See you next week.
All right. Until next time. Bye.